Some procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 24208 of Juan Fernandez, property located in Copeg. To the mic, to the podium. I need your name and address for the record, please.
Nombre y dirección.
Juan I. Fernandez, 107 Galvani Street, Copay, New York.
Okay. And you're going to testify, or you're going to interpret for him?
She my
I'm
daughter.
his daughter.
Okay.
My son.
Okay, well, I'm going to need your names too, though, regardless, and your address, okay?
Yesenia Fernandez. I reside at 390 43rd Street, Copeg, New York.
Okay, sir.
Juan Fernandez, 107 Galvani Street, Colquitt, New York.
And do you all affirm to tell the truth? Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2024. Environmental Control memo, December 4th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map. Survey by Michael K. Wicks, dated March 5th, 2024. And,
Mr. Chairman, we have 52 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
If he would like to know about the application. I don't. I apologize. It's
Yeah, so
not-
you're here for permission to diminish the rear yard setback from 30 to 28.85 for an outside basement entrance, and to diminish the distance to the north side lot line from 6 feet to 0.6 feet for a gazebo.
We do need an amendment to include that north side.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion on application 24208 to amend the application, the second variance, diminish distance to north side lot line. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So tell us why you're here, how did this come about, you know?
For the past years, my father always got his permit, a certificate of occupancy. It was due for an inspection over about a year ago. So he didn't pass, and it's ever since they've been adding new features to keep the house up to date with in compliance with the fire alarms, and he did a lot of remodeling to be within codes. Again, it all started with applying for the permit, which he, in the past years, it was approved, but things kept adding on until today, from that time being.
So that's what triggered the reason that
Yes.
you're here tonight, basically, because you were applying for a permit for,
Yes,
What-
every 3 years, he applies for the certificate of occupancy for the upstairs apartment.
so it was accessory apartment. You have an accessory apartment in the house.
Yes, we have proof of all the permits he received in the past years. And then things kept adding on to keep up with the codes, and he complied with it. And my brother and I have been assisting him until today, until this, as of today, so since today. While we were applying for the zoning board of this application, he received a letter that there was a complaint on the property while we were in the process of doing all this. So that was, I would say, a few months back,
Okay.
and that triggered another.
I'm going to turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Good evening, how are you?
Done.
So you guys had previously had an accessory apartment permit, correct?
Yes,
And now how many rentals are on the property currently?
¿Cuántos apartamentos renta? Dos ahora. Dos
Uno,
arriba.
uno.
Uno. He rents the upstairs apartment.
Only the upstairs.
Yes.
And then he lives in the downstairs.
In the main, yes.
And there's nothing, what's in the basement?
The basement is cleared, is just storage right now.
Okay. There is a three-piece bathroom in the basement. Could that be converted into a two-piece bathroom, just a toilet and sink, and remove the shower?
Posiblemente de remover la bañera y mantener solamente el toilet y la lavamano en el basement.
Dígale que yo necesito eso. Ahí.
He's asking to keep the bathroom as is. He feels like he would like to have the shower in the basement.
Is there access from the first floor to the basement?
Yes.
So then could we remove the outside basement entrance and add an egress window instead?
Se puede remover la entrada del basement o lo de afuera y poner una ventana.
La de aquí. Bueno, si es necesario se hace, dígale.
If it's required or necessary, then he will comply with
The
that.
reason I ask is because with the three-piece bathroom, not saying that you would do it, but it could lend itself into a basement apartment, which is not allowed. So if, we either A, remove the shower, or B, remove the basement entrance and just have an egress window.
Se puede, mientras tanto, la razón es que hay una posibilidad que en el día de mañana usted puede rentar el basement y eso es lo que ellos no quieren. Si puede estar de acuerdo de bloquear la puerta de afuera o remover la bañera del basement y mantener solamente el toilet y la lavamano.
Dígale que la puerta de afuera yo la necesito porque por ahí yo entro y cualquiera que vaya a arreglarme la bola entran por esa puerta, ¿sabe?
Entonces,
Yo necesito esa puerta como quiera.
he would like to keep the door in the outside door to the basement, just in case the boiler needs maintenance. It's just an easier access to get to the boiler room than going around the house and going or from the upstairs apartment down the basement.
So the other go ahead.
So yeah, the other option, and I think would be a very cost-effective option, would be to remove the shower.
Entonces la otra
In the
opción
bathroom.
es remover la bañera.
Están dando dos opciones. Si usted quiere quitar la bañera y dejar la escalera de afuera, o quiere dejar la escalera de afuera y quitar
La entrada.
Dígale que yo quito la bañera.
He will remove the bathroom, the shower.
Thank you. And now I understand that the metal carport in the northeast section of the property will be being removed?
Lo que usted construyó al lado de la casa, usted lo va a remover, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes, he would remove that.
Because I was there today, I know it's still up.
Yes, todavía está mantenido ahí.
Okay, and now can you tell me about the roofed over gazebo/shed in the rear, like where the cursor is?
Y la otra cosa que se construyó, ¿usted le puede explicar eso?
Sí, que yo ahí tengo usted sabe, donde yo tengo
It's like half shed, half gazebo.
hierro, mi herramienta, usted ve. Y que yo hice eso ahí porque tengo una familia grande y cuando yo lo invito, hago reunión ahí de mi familia.
He explains that there's a shed to keep his storage there. He likes to keep his tools and items organized in there. In the gazebo, we have a very large family in the town, and we do a lot of reunions. My dad is very involved in the Christian church, and they do Bible studies. It's not, or they do, prayers at the house, mostly during the summer. It's something that the family does. How would I say?
Necesitamos.
Gotcha. Is it possible to cut it back a little bit? Because
Hay una
currently you're
posibilidad
only
de
half a
cortar.
foot back from the property line.
La mitad de un pie lo puede cortarlo más corto.
Sí,
Yes, he's willing to do that.
If you could cut it back to 6 feet, we could delete that entire variance.
Si lo puede cortar hasta 6 pies, ellos pueden remover completamente la varianza.
Ok. Dígale que sí. Pero que eso yo lo hice, me costó dinero. Dígale que yo he estado todo mi tiempo aquí trabajando, you know.
Okay.
Y lo que yo me he podido ganar, yo lo he invertido en mi casa porque quiero estar tranquilo. Yo estoy deshabilitado, no puedo trabajar ni nada de eso.
Pero él preguntó si lo está dispuesto a cortarlo 6 pies.
Si lo mueves 6 pies para atrás, entonces ellos quitan eso de variance.
De variance, ellos lo quitan.
Ok.
Para el permiso.
Dígale que está bien entonces, que yo
He's,
trataré de hacerlo.
he'll comply with removing up to 6 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you would still have 18 by 14, you know, it's still a very decent amount of space. So you just have to cut it back 6 feet from your property line.
So todavía le va a tener suficiente espacio. Nada más cortar los 6 pies de distancia fuera de lo que está cruzando con la fensa. De distancia, de la fensa que está ahí. No está cruzando al vecino.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You're going to have to get plans back to us showing that the shed is being cut back to 6 feet and that the carport is removed. What do you guys think is a reasonable time frame that you could do it in?
Dígale que ahora en el frío no podemos.
Pero dígalo qué cantidad de tiempo.
Dale un tiempo, ¿en qué tiempo usted lo puede lograr a completar todo ese trabajo de afuera?
Que vamos a tratar de hacerlo
mean-
no batalla aquí.
Durante 6 meses.
You're not going to get your two-family permit until you get it done, is what it boils down to, so you might want to consider that.
Recordarle que hasta eso no está completado, no le van a dar su permiso.
Ok, dígale que-
Yeah, well, we need the plans first, to even make a decision on the application. We need to see this is what you're going to do, and then you would be held to those plans.
Para ello,
So if you're going to cut this back to 6 feet, actually, we can delete variance number 2, and then you have no choice but to do that. So would you
Entonces-
agree to do that?
en ello, cortando la distancia, ellos
Yeah.
remueven la variancia, pero
Tiene que verlo en un plano. 6 pies, quitando el techo y quitando la variante.
y van a necesitar el plan demostrando el cambio que se ha hecho en la casa, un
Ok.
nuevo plan de afuera.
Ok, digo,
How much time do you think
qué
you would need
tiempo?
to submit the plans?
¿Usted cree que puede someter todos los documentos y hacer el
como en
trabajo?
2 meses vamos a poner.
De 3 a 6 meses.
How much time do you think you're going to need to resubmit the
Right.
plans? A week, 2
Not
weeks?
to
Just the
do the
plan,
work, just the plans.
¿Just the plan? ¿O es para someter el plan
Ok, no, eso yo lo puedo hacer
en un mes?
sí, en un mes.
Within a month or maybe prior to a
tanto
month?
All right, so 30 days you need.
30 days, if that's
Okay.
allowed.
All right? All right. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Oh, I think I asked that already. Okay. All right, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for new plans, and then we can act on your application. All right?
De acuerdo, ¿verdad?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Next application is application 24-225 of Jaman Kim, property located in Copeg.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda, and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2024, a building permit for a pool dated, October 25th, 2007. Department of Environmental Control memo dated December 3rd, 2024. Just be cognizant of the tidal wetlands. Suffolk County Planning memo dated December 3rd, 2024. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Tax map acting as an area map.
Mr. Chairman, we have 5 photos.
And a survey by Angelo Sirica dated, no, I got no date on this one. All right?
And Mr. Chairman, for the record, the applicant has submitted a letter of support.
Okay. What would you like to tell us?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the homeowner, the Kim family, who purchased this property earlier this year. The property is on the north side of Dolphin Lane East, 574 feet east of Marlin Drive in Copeg. It does have an overall lot area of 16,141 square feet, but because some of the land is underwater, for zoning purposes, it only gets credit for about 14,000 square feet. It is zoned Residence A. As you can see from the survey and the aerial, it's improved with a 2-story dwelling and garage, as well as an existing pool and 2 sheds and a patio. In 2006, the 2-story addition that was added to the home was given a CO. The CO for the original dwelling is from 1974. In 2007, a building permit, which you have in your file, was issued for the in-ground pool, spa, and fence. There have been 2 prior owners since my client. They did not close out this pool permit. I did not handle the closing, but my client, in good faith, wanted to close out the pool permit. And from what I understand, once they filed, they found out that they also had to legalize the sheds and this rear patio. So I did take a look because the planning memo did ask when the sheds perhaps were constructed. My client is not sure because when they purchased, they were there. But on the Suffolk GIS, I did find an aerial from 2015 showing the existence of the pool and the sheds and the patio. So the accessory building, which is just 7 square feet over what would be a shed at 100 square feet, is on the west side, and the westerly property owner has indicated their support for the application. That is the letter that I handed up. We are seeking to allow that building to remain at 2.5 feet rather than the required 10 feet, as well as the smaller 75 square foot shed that exists there at 1.3 feet instead of the 2 feet that is required. The Kim family, amongst the 2 spouses, have a combination of 8 children, a few of which are adults who have moved out and are still using mom and dad's house for storage. So they have their pool equipment, accessories, bicycles, kayaks, fishing gear, etc. And also the accessory building that is there does have the filters and spa equipment and utilities for the pool connected currently. And so to try to relocate that would be a huge burden because all the electric for the pool and all the equipment is located right there. The smaller shed that's there as well is for easy access from the back patio behind the house to go to and from the pool area as well. I did speak to my client about the requested conditions. They agree to all of them, one of which has already been done. They have already cut 2 feet of pavers on the east side property line. They have already cut it back as shown on the plans. And they do agree that if the shed should ever be taken down or, dilapidated, they will put them in a conforming location. And they agree that there should be no further expansion of the rear yard paver patio. They do recognize that they are asking for a building area variance, but again, they came to the property and everything was already this way. And I can only assume that maybe when the pavers were put in way back when, it's when pavers weren't counted towards building area at that time. This is going back about 17 years ago. So, we respectfully request that the board allow the Kim family, who they're very happy in their new home, to leave everything as is. They consent to the conditions, and if you can grant the relief, they would much appreciate it.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Could at least the smaller of the 2 sheds be moved to conform with the other shed, so at least they're both even.
So one could be 2.5 as
They
well?
both could be
or
2.5, yeah, and then we could delete variance number 3.
I did ask about relocating it. If you have the photos,
I mean, I drove by today, it looks weird.
it looks weird.
That they're not even.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't put it in that position. I don't think you can actually see it from the street. It's
No, you can
pretty,
see it.
maybe now because it's winter, because the photos I saw,
Probably.
and yeah, it's wooded, so normally you can't see it.
Yeah.
It is a frame structure, it is sided. They indicated to me that they felt it would be difficult to relocate, but if you want me to revisit that with them, I will.
If we could, that'd be great, and then I have no further issues at all.
Okay,
And then you agree to everything else, right?
yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Can they just scooch it enough to comply, or is that what we're asking, to scooch
Yeah,
it to the
if
2
you could
feet?
if they could scooch it 0.7 inches or 8 inches, then we don't need variance number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least it will look a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will speak to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, so,
Okay, we can get back to this.
Okay.
Keep the record open.
yep.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none, so we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We will keep the record open for your response.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Next application is application 24-194 of Romeo and Jessica Bertolini, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the applicant, Romeo Bertolini, John Farrell, firm of Son Ward, Braff, Coscignano, 1300 Veterans Memorial Highway, Suite 100, Hauppauge, New York. Before we proceed, I would like to request that this matter be adjourned for 2 weeks to the 19th. I was only retained on this matter this morning, and I have not had time to really dive into the application, and I would like some more time to prepare.
Is there anybody here on this application?
Here, me? This is my client.
I'm Romeo Bertolini, sir.
Okay. No, there's somebody else. Okay, so we're going to adjourn the application for 2 weeks until December the 19th, if you're here on this application. We allow one adjournment as per all the time, so we're going to adjourn, and you can come back on the 19th, and the application will be heard then, okay?
I know, for me, I'm out of town on the 19th, and this is, I live.
You have to come up.
Is there an alternate date?
Come up here for a second. Name and address for the record.
My name is Charles Bonsignor, 235 15th Avenue, West Babylon, New York.
Okay. So when can you be here?
I guess first week of January. There's
Okay, no,
starting- okay.
we're not going to hear the application. Let's figure out a date.
It's a safety issue I was
That-
mentioning.
that's
Okay.
fine. So the first week of January. January 9th? John?
January 9th would work.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn application 24-194 to January the 9th, okay? And it will be at the end of the agenda, so you could come a little later than 6 o'clock.
Very good.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, thank you. Wow. Wow.
Well, you can do it.
Next application is application 24-214 of Avocados Kitchen, NB Limited, property located in North Babylon. Mr. Conway.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Darrell J. Conway, 57 West Main Street, Babylon, New York, appearing on behalf of the applicant.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2024. I guess this is approval from, was it dated April 19th, 2021. This was approved for 3 years with a condition that the temporary flagging be removed. Environmental control memo dated December 4th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map. Survey by Eugene Kempfy dated November 3rd, 2014.
And Mr. Chairman, we have one photograph.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Avocados Kitchen NB Limited. It's located at 1143 Deer Park Avenue in North Babylon. The subject site is, as you see behind us, Staples Garden Center, Shopping Center, located at 1143 Deer Park Avenue. The requested relief is a renewal of 2 prior ZBA approvals for the monopole ground sign. At this time, I'd like to move to amend the notice. The notice itself indicates that it is a setback of 2.2 feet, but in fact, it is a 5-foot setback, which was approved on 2 prior occasions. It appears that the plans examiner, when he was writing up the denial, used the wrong basis. He used the base of the sign, the base of the support, the footing of the cement, and not the actual pole. I spoke to Ms. Riley about this morning, and we went through it with a ruler, and in fact, the pole, which was installed in 2015, has never been moved. It was just a mislabeling by the plans examiner. It is still 5 feet from the property line. So I'd like to make a motion to move that, to amend that notice.
So I'll make a motion on application 24-214 to amend the application to read, permission to diminish front yard setback from 10 feet to 5 feet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The sign, as indicated behind you, is the sign that was approved in the past. It's an 8x4, 32 square foot sign on a monopole. It originally was approved under case 15-019, and I offer the decision. And then 3 years later, on case number 18-053, this board renewed the approval, and I offer that decision as well. It is requested that the board consent to the continuation of the prior approvals. As I said, the sign location has not been moved. The mere change is of the wording from Denny's, which is the picture that you have there. And I have...
It's not going to be Denny's anymore?
I'm offering to the board a photograph of the actual sign that is there now under Avocados. I know that you have a lengthy calendar behind me, and I offer to take any questions of the board on this matter.
I'll turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Pretty good. All right, so the main concern is the special exemption permit to now be under Avocados.
I saw that in the memo, and
Yeah.
that we consent to that condition
Okay, perfect,
prior to the approval of this board.
perfect. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Good.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
move some.
Make a motion to approve application 24-214, subject to the beginning date of the issuance of the CO for the primary use of the tenant space
Second.
for 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next application is application 24-222 of Tri-State Window Factory Corp., property located in Deer Park.
Good evening. Bruce Kennedy, 31 Green Avenue, Amityville, for the applicant.
Okay, for the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2024, environmental control memo dated December 4th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A tax map and a survey by John Robinson dated September 18th, 2015. And,
And Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photos.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening, once again. As you can see in the photograph, it's a straightforward monument sign. We need a relief because the maximum height permitted is 6 feet, and this is 7.75 feet. And as a result of interpretation by the plans examiner, they consider this to be 2 signs, which, I kind of question that because it's one structure, even though there's two sets of wording on it. But be that as it may, we need relief in any event for the height. It's an attractive sign. It's set well back from the road. There's no visibility issues with it as far as affecting traffic visibility. I know you're familiar with the area. This is in the industrial park on Marcus Boulevard, Deer Park. It's one of the nicer industrial areas in the town as far as I'm concerned. And I just say it's a good sign. We're looking at for what I would say is de minimis type relief.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Crutchia.
Good evening. That's an existing sign. How long has it been in existence?
I'm not sure, honestly. It's been there a while. I think it was put up in the springtime. We had some other issues that we were working on with some drainage matters that they were concentrating on. And so that the application was not submitted right away when it should have been.
Okay, so was there ever a variance applied to this sign?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so this is the first time it's coming up?
Right, and it's
Okay.
conforming in other respects, so it's just really with regard to the height.
Right. And the reason why we're coming here tonight for the variance is for a CO purpose or
No.
sale or
No.
just to put
No,
everything
it's
in
just part
order?
of cleaning up some issues that we had.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 24-222 for a period of 2 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Next application is application 24-224 of Barwell House of Tires, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Board. My name's Dominic Vitale. I'm the controller for Barnwell House of Tires. I live 18 Calico Tree Lane in Coram. I'd like to offer up the affidavit of posting and a picture of the post.
Thank you. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 2nd, 2024. Environmental Control memo dated December 3rd, 2024. There's a couple of issues on here you might want to take a look at, but you should have a copy of the Environmental Control memo.
I don't.
It should have been, did you take the amendment?
Oh,
Part of that. Fire Marshal's report dated December 5th, 2024, no violations. Suffolk County Planning memo dated December 3rd, 2024, decision of local determination, take no position for or against. Tax map acting as an area map, surveyed by PJM Land Surveying dated March 9th, 2017. Okay, it was like, oh, what would you like to tell us about the application?
We're here to renew the special exception permit to operate as a garage for a truck tire center.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Mr. Chairman, we also have 5 photographs. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
I only have, my one question, my one concern is the tires on the outside that have been piling up.
They've been removed.
It's been taken care of?
It's all done. I have a picture if you'd like to see it.
If you'd like to submit it, that'd be good. You want to submit it, or you just want to show it?
No, I'll show it to you.
We need to have it submitted for the record.
Okay. Do you have?
I got a couple here.
Where is this? Is this in the back?
It's on the side.
Oh, all right, I see. So what's it in front of the dumpster?
Yeah, there's a dumpster over there.
Gotcha. All right, so this won't be an issue, that we won't have a problem with that again?
No, those tires that were seen were, it was Thanksgiving week. It was a busy week for us. We just couldn't arrange to get a trailer over there to wrap
Well,
them.
it was the last time we renewed this was,
There's a
maybe
snow
might have been Thanksgiving then too, I don't know.
It was 2021. I know we had a snowstorm and we couldn't get the trailer over there to get those tires removed.
All right, you're also a little bit late, so let's get in compliance.
Yeah, there was some confusion because the letter said 4 years and it was in 2021, which would put us to April of 25. So I was a little lost on that.
Happens. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 24-224 for a period of 4 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes, subject to the previous imposed
CNRs.
CNRs, thank you. Sorry. Somebody pulled my plug. See.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next application is application 24-223 of Best Way Auto Collision, property located in Wyandanch. Name and
evening.
address for the record.
188 Long Island Avenue, Wyandanch, New York, 11798.
Need your name.
Ibrahim Duman. Sorry.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2024, environmental control memo dated December 4th, 2024. Should be no adverse environmental conditions. Fire Marshal's report, December 5th, 2024. They had no access to the building, so you're going to have to get the fire marshal there so he can give us a clean report.
That's fine.
Okay? You got to take care of that. Tax map acting as an area map. Survey by Rappa Land Surveying. Dated 12/20, last dated 12/20/23.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
We are expanding a little bit in the business-wise. We bought the building. We want to open up another body shop, public garage on 188 Long Island Avenue.
Okay. So, are you proposing changes to the operation or how it operates for the use?
Use the same,
Same?
same, no change.
Okay. So now it's for, what are you doing here?
Auto body shop.
Auto
like
body,
a
okay.
Paint.
Okay.
It's similar business. It's coded by state. 433 is public garage and tire shops. No, they already have that. It's already been there, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, you need to get the fire marshal there. Are you towing out of that location?
I'm sorry?
Are you towing out of that
No,
location?
not yet. We don't
Not
do
yet.
no
You gotta
business
get-
yet.
You gotta get this before you can get
Yes.
the permit. I got you. Okay. And you're gonna file standard covenants and restrictions, right?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Can you, the parking lot be striped?
Yeah, they have to do it, but I believe they wait in the water temperature or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But it'll
okay.
be
But
done
you're gonna-
about.
it's gonna be done.
Yeah, it'll be done about a week
We'll
or
make
10
that a
days.
condition if we were to approve it, okay? All right, would anybody like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none, okay? I'll make a motion to... Well, yeah, we need the fire marshal, never mind. You gotta get the fire marshal. Get the fire marshal and get him, get a report to us, and then we can move the application, okay?
That's no problem.
Okay, you got
I
it.
give the fire marshal phone number to call me if you go there, but I don't hear nothing. So I don't know, it's something. I'll call them tomorrow
Call that-
because
yeah, call-
he came to other shop and I give them number. I said, call me when you want to go there because no one there, we don't do
All
no
right,
work
you need-
there.
You need to follow up on that, though,
I
before
will.
we can move it, okay?
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Close and reserve for fire marshal. The main event. Next application is application 24-220, Nori LLC, doing business as Bayou's Celebrations. Bijou. Property located in Farmingdale. Name and address for the record.
Keith Archer, Harris Bloom and Archer, 445 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York, for the applicant.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 2024. Environmental control memo dated December 4th, 2024. Secret is pending on this. Suffolk County Planning Memo dated December 3rd, 2024. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Tax map acting as an area map. A survey by Peter V. Barbazon dated June 25th, 2021. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Surely. As I mentioned, my name is Keith Archer, Harris Bloom and Archer. With me tonight is Chris Labatt, a professional engineer and principal of Lab Crew Engineering, the firm that prepared the site plan that's before you. Our specific request is for a special exception to permit the operation of a catering hall for weddings and other receptions in a portion of the existing masonry block building located at, well, that portion of the building is known as 120 Broad Hollow Road. It's a larger building, so it also has a companion address of 140 Broad Hollow Road for the larger portion. The existing building is just over 45,000 square feet. The site itself is slightly more than 3 acres. So as shown as the site plan that was before us, this is a deep lot extending approximately 500 feet west of Route 110. So the applicant is proposing to utilize approximately 12,000 square feet of the south side of the building that park frontage on Broad Hollow Road for a proposed venue. While the zoning request is for a catering hall, a unique aspect of this application is that there'll be no food cooked on site. All of the food will be cooked off-site and brought to the location. They'll be brought in, I think, in hot boxes is what they call them, and they'll be brought by minivan-type vehicles. From the hot boxes, the food will either be served or placed in sternos. It's anticipated that either paper, depending upon the type of affair,